There's the obvious challenges. There's a real culture of drink and partying, and it's the challenge of sort of being in there with your messmates, but not getting as wrecked as they're doing. Still enjoying it and still, living the life of a sailor, but without becoming intoxicated and falling down ditches. Other challenges would be things like the obvious stuff like pornography, which is a lot less prevalent than what it used to be, which is great because the Navy took active steps against that itself. There's sort of the moral living, the whole joke about a sailor having a girl in every port and all that kind of thing, that maintaining integrity, but also like workplace integrity as well. So actually like not just working when your boss is there, but working when he's not there and working despite what's going on. So when other people are ready to quit and wrap, you're still doing the job because it needs to be done. Through like Christian unions and other organisations, the fellowship side of things is really well sorted out, but the two things that we're missing more than anything else is active evangelism and good discipleship, and that's mostly sort of because of distance between us. So like I might have a mate on one of the other ships who needs discipling, and so you're pretty much doing it by text message or email whilst you're away, and that's really difficult because you're not in that circumstance with them. And so they're the two things we're missing is guys who do love Jesus telling other people they do, and guys who do love Jesus being taught how to walk daily with him. My usual prayer routine starts off, my first morning prayer is praying for my messmates and my ship, and that's not to score points, it's just because I'm there, and I live with 45 other guys in a very confined space, so it's always good to pray for those guys, and then to pray for the ship I'm on, just because I don't want it hitting a rock, particularly when we're at sea. And then just as things arise during the day, just engaging with God about anything, whether that's a job I'm doing, whether even to the point of as a weapons engineer I've done in the past, where equipment's been broken and I have literally stood at the side of it and said, God, can you help me with this? And it's, in one instance it actually just came back on. In another instance there's just inspiration for like, have you checked this? And actually just gone to that bit and that's the part that's been broken. Which is just amazing. So God's the God of broken Navy machinery as much as he is the universe. So it's great. I suppose like my sort of favourite God being epic moment really in the Royal Navy was I was deployed on HMS Liverpool out in the Caribbean, and I've been spending a lot of time on that ship sharing the gospel, working hard for Jesus. And really feeling like I was getting no return and really feeling sort of unloved by God. And we deployed, and I spent the first half of the deployment really sort of going out my way and sort of praying and fasting and gave up alcohol completely. Not that it was a problem, but just deciding just not to have anything to do with it. And still getting no return back, and really felt like God was just sort of just shelved me, and I was wasting my time. And we called into one of the islands for a stop, and I just threw my hand in with the lads and just decided just to turn my back on God, and spent 10 days intoxicated. I don't remember a single day of sobriety in those 10 days. And on one of those days in a nightclub, I spotted one of the guys from my ship who was looking miserable, and I thought I'd just go and sit down and chat to him. So I sat down and chatted to him, and the place was so noisy I couldn't really hear him. So we sort of left the nightclub and went and sat down on what turned out to be the steps of a Methodist church that was opposite the nightclub. And there was a notice board with a Bible verse on it. From that Bible verse, I told him the gospel. I don't remember this, he told me later. And now the guy is assistant pastor of an Elim church. So, God's got an epic sense of humour. So there you go. The guys see you when you're happy, the guys see you when you're down, the guys see you when you're angry, the guys see you when you're not displaying any qualities of Jesus at all. And they're always the first ones to say, hold on a minute, you're supposed to be a Christian. Without doubt, they pull you up long before God pulls you up, and says you're not behaving like a Christian. An instance in that was on a ship deployed. I'd just had an argument with the petty officer I was working for, very, very angry with him. I'd gone down the mess, and one of the lads had said, Nath, what are you playing at? You're a Christian, speak to God about it. And I sat down on my bed and I spoke to God about it. And this lad would be the first one to put his hand up and say he was an atheist. And so it's just that's the challenge of living in a mess deck is being a Christian 24/7.